All right, guys, going over this workout that I made for myself. Sharing with a friend, Andy Lauer. So first off, I'm working a Wendler 531 program, real simple, easy progression system, kind of linear, undulating progression. Linear in the sense that week to week you're increasing in weight, uh, decreasing in reps. Undulating in the fact that it's uh, you're deloading every fourth week and then resetting. So a slight undulating scheme here. I'm working hopefully 4 cycles if I can keep myself entertained for that long. Each cycle's a week. Sorry, a month about, so 4 weeks. Um, but I'm just going to break down the program here in just a second. But before I get into just kind of explaining some of the functions that I have set up in the program, a 1 rep max, so an estimated 1 rep max for my back squats, about 335. The Wendler system takes 90% of the 1 rep max, and as you can see, I've already calculated the 1 rep max. I've got all of these numbers to calculate off of that 90% of my working 1 rep max. Also, I've had, just for my own competitive nature, I've got the tonnage set up, a function for my tonnage set up. So you can see if I follow the program, the first week I'm going to do 5 reps, second week 3 reps. My percentages will go up each week, as you can see here. Um, and then this is kind of the money column, or the money set for the Wendler program. I'm going to be working 85%, hitting 256 for as many reps as possible. So say I hit 11 reps this week, the first week. Oops, I'm not doing 33 reps. And say I'm able to hit 10 reps at this weight on the following week. But you guys can see, just for my own records, I like to keep track of this, how much tonnage I'm working in this cycle. So just fun numbers game. My bench will total in to this total cycle tonnage, and then I can reset and kind of compare it cycle to cycle, week to week, day to day. So I'm kind of excited, geeking out over that. A little bit about the two phases that I'm undulating between. So I've got phase 1 working on the bottom, working on my depth a little bit more, so power out of the hole, being explosive from the bottom. And then I'm working posterior strength, or the lockout, where I get stuck mid to top of the rep, locking out the rep with good form. I'm focused more on the posterior chain here. So working good mornings and pause squats. So every 4 weeks that's going to change, but we'll talk about my pause squats here in a bit. Here first anyway. So pausing at the bottom of each rep, exhale, inhale before lifting. Take a couple breaths before you want to stand up, but making sure we're nice and braced before. I completed this, I just did 135, it's pretty new for me on this one. And then I did all 8 reps. It was very, very hard, cardiovascular. Each set took about a minute to a minute and a half to complete. So I took my time at the bottom. This week I went up to 185, and next week I want to go up to 225 for 3. Pause in, breathe under the load, test the posture a little bit, and then again take a deep breath, brace, and stand up. So we'll see how that one works out for me. I feel a lot stronger just going from week 1 to week 2, pausing at the bottom. The good mornings is going to be a little bit challenging. Haven't done this in a while. I don't know why, but figured I'd throw it in there. Got this from Tate. He's a big West Side barbell guy. He's a strong dude, so I figured I'd take his advice. Brett Contreras also recommended this in one of his articles that I read, and I believe Bruno as well. So smart guys in the industry, and I figured I'd take their advice. So day 2, working the bench press. I'm doing the same exact scheme, 5-3-1, as many reps as possible. Slight decline overhead press. I got this from Casey Mitchell, some advice that he did on a YouTube channel that I follow. But essentially same rep scheme. Lat pull down is also his advice. Keeping this as rigid as possible, not letting the weight pull you back up to a vertical position, but staying more so at a 45-degree angle, and resisting the weight from pulling you up. I've found that that's kind of crushing my lats. It feels phenomenal when I'm doing that. Weight's going to stay the same there. Reps are going to stay the same as well. Going for a burn more so than anything. The dumbbell bench for time. This was different. Another Dave Tate article that I read. Maybe Greg Nuckols, I can't remember. But essentially I'm doing 3 to 4 minutes of straight dumbbell press, sets of 5. Kind of cluster sets, some people have called it, but I'm doing 5 reps, resting for about 30 seconds, and then repeating that cycle, about 30 seconds to a minute break in between, until I can't perform 5 reps or 4 minutes is up. So I topped out at 75 pounds on my dumbbells, and I was doing, I think I did 5 sets, 4 to 5 sets, I don't remember. So again, this is kind of the bottom portion of my lift, the bar, moving the bar from my chest. And then to work on the lockout and mid-range, I'm doing a dumbbell floor press. So setting up on the floor and pressing the dumbbells up overhead. So same rep scheme here. And this is phase 2. Phase 3, we go back to working on the bottom portion. Phase 4, working on the lockout. So pretty simple programming there. The deadlift, I took a little bit more time programming because I'm more focused on this one and trying to reach 500. That's going to be my initial goal that I'm really working on, and I'm hoping everything else comes along with it. So for my warm-up sets, I'm pausing, at least from the first one. Let me back up. So similar to the last 2 days, I'm working from the floor first, and then getting to my sticking point, so about mid-shin or just above the knee, my sticking points. So back to phase 1. Deadlifts are the same. I'm using conventional deadlift rather than trap bar or sumo squats, solely because I love conventional deadlifts. So if you want to throw in trap bar or you want to throw in sumos, be my guest. But the 2-inch deficits, working from the floor, increasing the range of motion, being able to rip some weight from lower than you're actually going to have to, increases the range of motion of your joints or of your muscles, making them stronger in that end range rather than just working the same range of motion the entire time. And so I calculated my percentages just because this is kind of new to me. So that's what I'm doing. Same rep scheme, descending in reps, ascending in weight. Working some core and hamstring work at the end. So trying to increase my pillar strength, core strength the entire time. Phase 2, I'll be working pause deadlifts. So pausing at mid-shin, that's my sticking point. By all means, if your sticking point's a little bit higher or you have trouble with the lockout, pause there. Again, stay at a relatively light weight throughout your sets. Pause for about 2 seconds on that one. And then my accessory lift, just working more glute and hamstring stuff in a different angle. So single leg glute bridge just to prime my cheeks, and then stiff leg deadlift to pull my hamstrings a little bit more. Phase 3 and phase 4 are similar to that. Last one, I did Pendlay rows, and Renegade row is going to be my big one. Couldn't really think of things to accessorize with the Pendlay row just because it's a great exercise in and of itself. I could throw some 3-point rows or alternating dumbbell rows or bent over rows in this, or pull-ups, but I I'm kind of tired of those. I've been doing those for the last 3 months or so. I haven't done renegade rows in a while, and it's a great anti-rotation exercise more than anything, in my opinion. Maybe not toasting the back, but it's going to be beneficial building core strength for my bench, my deadlift, my squat, and everything else. So threw it in there on this day. Turned out to give me an incredible oblique or oblique serratus and lat pump the next few days. I was really impressed with that. I saw a guy who renegade rode 100 pounds on each side, and I was really competitive, ego driven, and wanted to beat him. So anyways, enough about that. With my single arm, or for my burnout sets, I'm doing single arm, straight arm pull downs, weighted chin ups, sets of 12 per side, and then following that with some chins. I think I used like 15 additional pounds body weight on that. And so for my next one, next phase, chest supported dumbbell row, trying to work a little bit more weight on this one. Hit the upper back and traps a little bit. Alternating dumbbell bent over row and weighted chin ups here. So some unilateral strength, anti-rotation. Still working my core stability, but not quite as much as the renegade row. I love my weighted pull-ups, chin-ups, so keeping those in the program. Here I'm just maxing or recording my maxes. So here's about what my maxes are. I way undershot this max. I was able to do a lot more than this one. Again, pendulate rows have never been something that I've been focused on doing. So I've got my cycles laid out, and then my phases laid out here. So I'll be able to keep track of my my totals on this. But yeah, so there's my 531 strength accessory. Featured in there is some Jim Wendler, Greg Nuckols, Dave Tate, Brett Contreras, and Ben Bruno. So shout out to those guys, super smart, knowledgeable, credible dudes who I respect in the field. So if you want this program, just let me know. I'll shoot you over this template. I'll make it collaborative so I can see your success and everything. Shoot me an email if you don't have my email. Tough Titty said the kitty. So see you guys, and have a good day. Do whatever you want, honestly.